Welcome to the Strategic Oracle, the transmission space where timing meets soul and wealth begins with the rhythm. Let's begin. Here we are at this perfect still moment. And it's in that stillness you can ask yourself, what signal am I sending right now? As the sun has just moved from his sign of Leo into the sign of Virgo, he's still at 0 degrees. And then the moon, she comes dancing around and she meets him there. And she says, let me give you a great big hug and a kiss. And they merge as one. That's what a new moon is. It's a merging. And because we have that energy, that's the core of you, that striving, that action, that taking a big gulp of how you want to show up in the world and standing strong and true in that. And then we have that beautiful lunar energy of who do we want to talk to? How do we want to connect? How do we want to go out into the world? How do we have that beautiful dance of that, reaching out and reaching in, of that giving, of that receiving, of that beautiful cyclic energy. And they meet in stillness and take a breath. And so for right now, it's on the 23rd of August at 2:07 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're on the Pacific, you'll be in still the 22nd of August. If you're other places, it will actually be on that Saturday. So wherever you are, you have the ability to take stock, to pause for a moment, to take a breath, and to just marinate in what's working for you, what's not working for you. Now, I'm saying something a little bit differently than I could say, but it's because we're in Virgo. So Virgo is that energy that is asking you how you're showing up every day. Virgo isn't the energy saying what stage are you on, or like those big partnerships that you have, or those larger strategies, that outlook for the next year or two. That's not Virgo. Virgo lays the foundation for things. Virgo is the underpinning of all of that. So you can have those big dreams in other signs, right? You can have those big setting of those huge goals and asking yourself how you want to scale and how you want to grow and set your targets and really put those big, huge pillars in place. And then you get to Virgo and Virgo says, yeah, but what are you doing on Monday morning? How are you showing up? Because it's in the daily that things actuate, that it really matters. If you set these big, beautiful goals, I want to, turn the corner and go from a 1 million to a 10 million, from a 10 million to 100 million, from 100 million to a billion. Those are big, huge swaths of, I'm just throwing numbers out there right now, but there's a big scaling that needs to happen. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be put in place. And then if you don't show up on a Monday morning, you're like, oh, I don't really feel like doing anything. And then you can look, days pass, then weeks pass, then months pass, then years pass. You're not going to achieve those big, beautiful goals that you've set yourself. And so Virgo is the one saying to you, yeah, but how are you doing? It's Monday morning. How is it? How is it happening for you? Are you actually putting things in place for yourself? Do you have the right team? Are you delegating the right things? Do you have your documents and your procedures? Are you having the right, conversations when you're on those calls? Are you, in the right rooms? How are you showing up? And it's showing up for yourself first. Do you have a good fitness routine? Are you sleeping well? This is Virgo. Virgo's about wellness. She's about routine. She's about, how you put things together in a very scheduled calendar, detailed way. She's also about taking not a huge step back. She doesn't want you to have a 10,000-foot view or 30,000-foot view. She knows you lose the details with that. But she's like, yeah, just take a step back. Are you doing your analytics? What are your reports? How are things coming back to you? You could be showing up every day. You could be saying to me, Kim, you know what? I'm showing up every day. I'm doing all the things. Yeah, but does it matter? I know that that's a very, very harsh question, but does it matter? Are you talking to the right people? Are you in the right rooms? You could be doing all the things, checking every box, dotting every I, and crossing every T. But if you're not doing what's true for you, if it doesn't feel like yours, if the people aren't really yours, when you are getting clients, when you are getting those jobs, when you're doing those deals, they don't really make you feel satisfied, then what are you doing? Virgo also asks you that. I'll be honest with you, she's not so much about the happy joy factor as Leo was. Leo definitely is about the happy joy factor. Leo's all about that. Virgo comes in and says, yeah, but you got to get to work now. It's time to go back to school. It's time to go back to the drawing board. It's time to get out, sharpen those pencils and get to work. But she still doesn't want you to be sad. She doesn't want you to be so in service for something you lose yourself to that service. You become a servant to your business. You become a servant to your life. She doesn't want that. It's easy for her to slip into that though, but that's not what she wants. So when I look and I widen the lens and I look at the constellations and I look at where the planets are, I can see that we have this beautiful, gorgeous magic triangle that I've been talking about, ad nauseum for about a year and a half. And it's in place until 2028. So we have that. And we are here in August. I said about August, it's the time to not lose ground. It's the time to just not go for something that feels super safe because you're uncomfortable so that you lose traction. So I was talking to my husband over the weekend and I was telling him that he knows I'm going through a big shift, right? And I was just saying to him, the way I go through change is I hurl myself out of an airplane. And I don't have a parachute. I don't even know if I have a parachute on, right? And I hurl myself, and I just, with a belief bubble, I make sure that I don't crash into hopefully we're flying over an ocean, right? And then when I land and I'm in the ocean, I'm like, oh, damn, I really should get some flotation device here because I'm not around anything. There's no island in sight. I don't know where I'm going. Hopefully it's not stormy. And I'm just here and I'm literally crafting the flotation device and then creating a boat for myself to then figure out where shore is. That's the way I go through change. Not everybody goes through change like that. But when I'm in that hurling in outer space and, crashing to the earth, my belief bubble is the only thing that's holding me suspended from crashing. And so it gets untenable. It gets untenable because it's like, why is this going to work? Don't know. How is it going to work? Don't know. Where are you going? No idea. What is it going to look like? Yep, still don't know, right? But that's my way of going through it. There are so many times where you could be on the airplane and decide not to jump. You could be on that airplane and you could jump and then you pull the parachute, which is not a bad idea, by the way. But you want to make sure that you're adjusting those cords to make sure that you're landing in the right space. That's the way most people do it, right? So as you're adjusting the cords in the month of August, make sure you're not going to land in a place that you don't want to be. Make sure you're going to land. Now, maybe it is in the middle of the ocean and you're going to be floating around with me. Don't worry, I've got a boat. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's like you're going to invert that parachute. You're going to be like, okay, I can float here too. I've got it. No worries. But it's to not then go climb back in the airplane. It's not to then go get in the airplane and then like ground the airplane, fly it into where you were before. That's not the energies this year. The energies are all about breaking through to you. And it's so interesting that we are at 0 degrees, but we're on the 23rd of August, at least Eastern time, and it's 0.23 minutes. So that's a 5 in numerology. This is 555. It is all about change. So it does feel difficult when you get to those sudden changes and you're not expecting them, thanks Uranus. It does get difficult when you have to see the reality of things and try to figure out how it's actually going to work. Thank you, Saturn. It does get really difficult when you still have those big dreams and they won't stop, so you have too many ideas. Thank you, Neptune. And it does get really difficult when you have all those changes and you can't unsee and you can't unknow and you can't, look away from the areas that aren't working. And so there's tremendous change. Thanks a lot, Pluto. Yes, but it's supportive. So that's what's going on right now. A little bit more of an untenable situation because Uranus is confronting the sun and the moon right now. So that's where the change is going to outweigh everything else. That's why this is about change. And so if you are uncomfortable, if you don't know where you're going, if you haven't figured things out, if you're like stitching things like seemingly in midair, you're in the right place. You are actually in the right place. If you do have everything all figured out and you're like, yeah, but I've already been through that, that's okay too, because what you want to make sure of those things that are there are really yours. So the best advice I have is for you to get really detailed. Take some time. This happens to hit on the weekend. You're going to hear this before that weekend. Take some time over the weekend. It doesn't have to be a long time. It can be half an hour, 40 minutes. And just, get pen to paper and just say, okay, what do I absolutely freaking adore that's happening right now? What am I so excited about? What am I just like, I can't believe that this is so fabulous right now. And what am I doing to get there if it's not quite materialized yet? And then what still feels heavy, it feels like a drag, it just feels like bleh. Now, I'm not talking about the great fitness routine you have or like the wellness shake that you have to drink in the morning or whatever, right? Like that you just have to do. So if it's for your best good, if it's for the wellness of you, if it's for your best good, then you got to just do it. But if it's something that you're like, yeah, that room, that was really comfortable before, but now just doesn't fit anymore. Just make a plan. You don't have to pull the ripcord and jettison out of there quickly, but you want to make a plan because you're setting yourself up for Q4 and Q4 is filled with delicious energy. And 2026, my friends, so good, so many opportunities. But we know with opportunities, sometimes there are challenges to overcome. Sometimes there's obstacles get out of the way, right? I'd love to say it's smooth sailing from now until the end of time. You wouldn't be listening to me if that were the truth, right? Like you'd be listening to somebody else. So you're in it. You want great, big, huge impact. You want massive change. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and go through your signals for your signature. And then we're going to do a beautiful ritual. And it is going to feel a little bit more practical. We're in Virgo. So I'm not going to take you to the heights of all the things, I don't think. We'll see where she shakes out. And I'm going to go out of order for some reason. So Creative Superstar came in and Creative Superstar is like, hey, I want to go first this time. So for you, Creative Superstar, think about ways you can monetize joy. You're all about surprise and delight. People need that right now. Ruling Warrior, you're going to lead from truth that is equitable. So you'll be looking at the balance of things. For you, Wise Strategist, when I say scale through systems, what I'm talking about is ensuring that those things that you want to do is where you're putting your time and focus on and making sure you can do more of that. I love this for Intuitive Visionary. This is for me too. Partner with grounded talent because it is good for you to have an initiator that holds the energy with you as you're going forth in the world. Collaborative Explorer, form alliances that can last longer than a quick hit. And then Loving Alchemist, teach others how to be in that deeper space of knowing or healing or fixing or changing, but also in high income. And so now, as we remember what those magical tools were for us for the month, we had that beautiful shine card that felt more like Leo than Virgo. But when you think about that opening of where you want to show up, allow yourself to put some practical underpinnings to it. Aquamarine was the crystal for courage. Skunk was the animal for knowing your self-worth. So as we wrap in those beautiful earthly energies and we put those under our feet, we can close our eyes unless we're driving. We can take a few deep breaths in and we can feel that beautiful strength of the skunk showing up in all of its odorous, beautiful ways. And we can think of that gorgeous shine card and how we want to glisten out into the earth and the air. And we can feel the aquamarine giving us strength and bravery and boldness and courage that may be super quiet, or it could be loud, whatever feels really good for you. And as you grab those earthly implements, and as your eyes are still closed and you're doing some deep breathing, you can feel your feet as you're very grounded in this Virgo energy. It's new again this year. New moon is always about new beginnings. And as you bring that intention of that 0 degree, of that newness, of that Virgo well-being, you let her sit right beside you, or you let her have, your back. You let her befriend you in some way. And you say, okay, Virgo, pen, paper. In your mind's eye, let's feel those things in the areas of your life. Let's take that sun and that moon, that beautiful kiss of stillness, and say, how do I feel about my wellness routine? Let me be joyous and really proud of myself for what I've already accomplished. Let me accept where I am right now. And let me make just one note, one tiny, tiny adjustment. And then as I look at my relationship area of my life, those that I feel so blessed to be a part of their lives and have them be a part of mine. Is there a way I'm not showing up for myself? Is there a way I'm not showing up for others? What adjustments do I want to make in that area of my life? When I think of home and sanctuary and hearth and that nourishment and that juiciness of the quiet areas of my life, maybe I have a meditation practice, or maybe I have this really great way of filling my cup in silence, in solitude, just for me. How's that feeling? Is that in a good flow for you? Is it in your natural cycle? Is it coming in beautifully and in harmony? Or does there feel like there could be less or more? Then let's look at my finances, my revenues, my expenses, my income, my passive, my active. How is that flowing? What deliciousness would I love to bring in? What would feel so incredibly supportive for me right now? Let me set that intention, make that happen, put some things in place. Show me how that can come to be. And what about my success? Am I on the right stages? Am I talking about the things I really want to talk about? Am I having those really, really impactful conversations? Am I making those connections that can help scaffold me to my dreams? More or less, same or different? And then what about love and beauty and fun and exploration? Am I allowing myself to be frivolous? Am I allowing myself to do things that give me delight? Am I curious? Is my mind open? Do I have the humility to learn? With all of this, we're bringing our energy back. We've just gone around you. So now we want to have it pour into you, whether you want to feel the beauty and gorgeous support and that wellness and your intentions pour into you through your crown chakra, through your third eye, or your throat, or your heart, or your solar plexus, taking a nice deep breath in, or your sacral, or your root. There's a beautiful pouring into you. And if you want to bring that up into your body through your feet and your ankles and your shins and your calves and your knees and your thighs and your buttocks and your belly and your diaphragm and your chest, over your shoulders and down your arms into your hands, filling them up with this deliciousness. Back up your arms past your elbows and your shoulders, over, up your neck, through your jawline, your cheekbones, your forehead, your skull, up into the universe, bringing in that beautiful white light. Remembering that courage of aquamarine, that beautiful shining quality of love and light, and that beautiful skunk as a badge of honor to know your worth. And with the sun and the moon and that magic triangle, we give great gratitude to the cosmos, to the stars, to the luminaries, to the skies, to the earth, and to all of the practical ways and the magical ones that you can bring your dreams to life. And with this, we set the wish. In wellness and routine and discipline and commitment. And then in a detailed way to build that scaffolding to scale to your truest desires. And whenever you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to feel your feet on the floor. You're going to feel your hands, maybe rub them together, give yourself a nice hug. Roll your shoulders and your neck, shake your hands out. Take a moment, pen, paper, write down anything that came to you. If you're in a car, maybe take your notes on your phone and just talk a little bit. If you want to just set the intention, because you're going to enter your day, that you will remember this, and you can take those notes later. Take a nice big drink of water, and happy, happy, happy new moon. Whew. Welcome back to you. You've been listening to the Strategic Oracle, where success isn't scaled from speed, but from soul. If this stirred something real, follow it. Apply for activation, enter the vault, or pause right here. Integration is leadership too. Because the truth is, you were never meant to chase the timing. You are meant to become it.